What's going on, peeps? Just got done reading Absolute Batman issue number 4. Let's talk about it. Alrighty, so first thing is first. I know this is issue 4 of Absolute Batman, but I kind of want to give a little backstory for people who are just jumping in right now. If you're not too familiar with the Absolute title, here we go. So the Absolute titles, we're going to have 3 different Absolute titles. We have the Trinity, which is Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So in this Batman title, as we all know how Batman's origin story comes out, you know, he goes to go see Zorro with his mother and father, and then they walk through Crime Alley, and then they end up dead, and then, you know, Bruce Wayne becomes an orphan and then gets raised by Alfred Pennyworth. Well, this is a completely different story of that. Even though some themes may be sort of the same, it's a really different twist on the character, and I'm really loving Batman. Even though I said this before, Absolute Wonder Woman is probably my favorite title out of it all. And if you haven't read it, go and do so, because it's an absolutely great freaking book, and no pun intended. But nonetheless, here in issue 4, we take a little step back to when Bruce Wayne is a kid after something happens to him in his childhood that makes him become who he is as Batman. However, we start to see some things, especially in the first issue at the end, the last frame before the epilogue, we see a name being spoken. Like 2 guys were talking, it's like, yeah, he calls himself and I'm not going to say it because we all know who it is, because he's oversaturated in DC comic books, especially when it comes to Batman. This character is always used, and I feel it's overused when it comes to Batman. But again, this is a fresh new take on Batman and this character. Nonetheless, as we move on to the second and third issue, we start to see these little implications and these little callbacks from the first issue, from the last page, start to be sprinkled in throughout the issue. And then again, in the 4th issue, we start seeing those same things happen, which it's about to happen. We're going to get this character, and hopefully it's done well. It's not just because this character's been really done so many different ways, and I don't know how I feel about it. Can we just have one Batman book that we don't have the Joker in? Alrighty, folks, until next time, read your comics.
Go away! Read some books!